Grandma paid for my dream dress. My sister took it without asking, destroyed it, and now my parents want me to cover the repair costs. I, a 27 female, have a younger sister, 23 female, who is currently arranging her wedding on a very limited budget. I'm also engaged to be married next year, and I was very close to our late grandma, who saved money for my wedding. With grandma's gift, I had a personalized wedding dress made for myself, which I had always wanted. It is a stunning, one-of-a-kind gown fashioned of high-quality silk and lace and customized to my exact specifications. It also has a lot of sentimental meaning for me because it was bought for grandma's savings that she had set aside before she died. My sister Emily, false name, just approached me in tears, claiming that she can't afford anything good for her own wedding dress. She and her fiancé have limited means, and she describes the dresses in local boutiques as cheap-looking or not her style. She is aware that I already have custom-made clothing. My wedding is still several months away, but I got my gown made early. Emily asked if she could borrow my wedding dress for her special day instead of purchasing a new one. I was uncomfortable with this request for several reasons. First and foremost, the dress was designed specifically for me. It's tailored to my body and style. Emily and I have different body shapes and heights, so even if she wore it, it would require considerable modifications to fit her. I'm not comfortable modifying my personalized outfit for someone else's use. Second, the gown is highly valuable to me because of the personal and financial investment, grandma's money, that it represents. I wish to treasure it as an heirloom. The thought of it being worn by someone else, maybe stretched out or harmed, makes me quite nervous. Third, my wedding hasn't yet happened. I haven't even donned my wedding gown yet, and I want to be the first person to do so on my big day. It just doesn't feel right to allow anyone else, including my sister, to wear it before I do. I attempted to convey to Emily as gently as possible that while I appreciate her circumstances, I am not comfortable leasing out my wedding dress. I suggested she check into secondhand shops or internet resale for a reduced gown, or that we find a seamstress to tailor a simpler garment to her specifications. I even volunteered to assist her shop within her budget and see whether our mother's old wedding gown could be refurbished or reused, but Emily was not interested in their options. She expressly requested to wear my dress since she claimed it was the loveliest she'd ever seen and would make her feel like a princess without the royal price tag. She became really offended after I firmly told her no. She accused me of not caring about her happiness and of being selfish. She stated that since I had an expensive custom dress thanks to grandma's money, I should be gracious enough to allow her to experience something unique as well, especially since she cannot afford luxury. I apologized and informed her that my decision was final. I later received a call from our mother and father who had heard from Emily about the issue. They were on her side. They argued sharing is what sisters do, and I should have agreed to let Emily put on the dress or use it for her wedding. My parents believe that because I was lucky enough to receive an expensive dress, I should share that good fortune with my younger sister, and they point out that the money for the outfit came from the family, grandma, meaning that it should benefit the entire family. I adore my sister and sympathize with her financial struggles, but I also feel protective of my wedding gown. This is not just any dress. It's a one-of-a-kind sculpture created for me, infused with love and remembrance. I'm also concerned that anything will happen to it if it is removed out of my care. I don't want it misplaced or ruined before I can wear it. I mentioned these reasons to my parents and Emily, but they still believe I am being harsh. Emily has been ignoring me, and my parents keep reminding me that we raised you girls to share and support each other. They've even suggested that Grandma would have wanted me to help Emily, but I disagree. Grandma made it plain that the money was for my outfit, and she would be furious if it was pulled into a conflict. All of this has created a lot of strain. My fiancé absolutely supports me. He feels it's a poor idea to let anyone else, including family, borrow my wedding dress before our wedding. He also stated that if the circumstances were reversed, he doubted my sister would lend out her wedding gown. Nonetheless, my parents and sister are making me feel terrible, claiming that I prioritize a dress over my sister's happiness on her wedding day. That is not true. I want her to have a wonderful wedding, and I understand how important weddings are, but I don't think I should have to risk my most valuable outfit to compensate for her financial difficulties. Am I the burr for not letting my sister borrow my handmade wedding gown? Comment on, I understand that it is your unique outfit, but she is your sister. and she is struggling. You'll only wear that gown once, correct? Would it really hurt to let her use it for one day so she too could feel beautiful? I mean, you wouldn't give it away forever, you'd simply lend it. From her perspective, it appears like you are more concerned with a garment than her sentiments. Response: I understand where she's coming from, and I want her to feel beautiful on her wedding day. I really do. But even if I just wear my gown once, I intend to cherish it as a keepsake and perhaps pass it on someday. It's more than simply a one-time use for me. The seamstress who made it warned me that significant modifications could damage some of the delicate lacework and structure. There's a good probability it won't look the same afterwards. So, while I'd only wear it once, I paid for the privilege of having it tailored to my form and tastes, as did Grandma. It's not that I prefer a dress over my sister. I value the meaning and purity of this particular outfit. Lending it out is not as straightforward as letting her borrow a t-shirt. If something goes wrong, I'll be crushed. I've tried to help her in other ways, but she's not accepting them. Comment due. How did you pay for your personalized dress? Did your grandmother leave you money expressly for this? It could be helpful to clarify, given your parents have mentioned that it was family money. Also, if your parents are so concerned, why can't they or you chip in for your sister's dress rather than endangering your own? Before she died, Grandma gave me a lot of money to buy my wedding gown. She basically told me to buy the dress of my dreams. She did not leave Emily with an equivalent money because she was not engaged at the time. Grandma died 2 years ago before Emily's engagement. My parents too cannot afford to buy her a costly frock. They have helped with some basic wedding expenses, but money is tight. So I assume they regarded me leasing out my clothing as the simplest and cheapest answer for Emily. I do not see it that way. That present from Grandma was intended for my outfit, and it is mine to keep. Comment 3. Hold your ground and lock that outfit up. Given her fixation, I have a nasty feeling she'll try to take it when you're not looking. We've heard stories about sisters going mad over wedding issues. Don't let it escape your gaze. Upper. I honestly hope that never happens. Emily can be dramatic when upset, but I don't think she'd steal my outfit. Having said that, you are correct that she is highly focused on it. I'm keeping the outfit in my apartment, and right now only my fiancé and I have access to it. My parents are the only ones who have a spare key in case of an emergency. I doubt they'd give it to her without my knowledge, but I'll keep an eye out. I've safely put the dress in a garment bag in the back of my wardrobe. I might even relocate it to a safer location if it helps me feel better. Thank you for the caution. I'll be careful. Update 1. Well, some of you told me in the comments that my sister would try to do something behind my back. I honestly did not believe it would happen, but it did. Emily used the spare key to my flat yesterday while I was at work to let herself in and remove my bridal dress from my closet. I had given my folks a spare key for contingencies. I'm still not sure if my parents delivered it to her or if she took it from where they keep it. That is an entirely different matter. She then stated she wanted to try on the outfit in private since I would not allow her to have it. Emily explained that if she could only put it on and see herself in it, she'd know if it was suitable for her wedding or if she should abandon the idea. Emily seemed to have taken the outfit with her on the metro ride back to her own flat after stealing it out of mine. I'm not sure why she couldn't just try it on at my apartment. Perhaps she intended to display it to her fiancé or pals. This is where the absolute calamity occurred. Emily alleges that on the metro she knocked with someone holding an open bottle of red wine, which splattered through the plastic and into my clothes. When she went home and opened it, the front of my gown was covered in dark red stains. I didn't find out about this until later in the day. I got home from work and went to my closet to check on my clothing. After these recent incidents, I became a little apprehensive and wanted to make sure everything was safe. To my surprise, the garment bag was still present, but the dress had disappeared. I completely panicked out. I started calling my fiancé, who was at work, and then my mother. My mother admitted that Emily had stolen the dress only to test it on, and there had been an accident. I drove straight to my parents' house, where Emily was, and found my poor dress in a bag, with large red wine stains on the bodice and skirt. I fell into tears the moment I saw it. Emily was also crying, apologizing again and over. She continued repeating she just wanted to feel special for a short time and never intended for this to happen. I was furious and screamed at her that she had no right to steal my dress, especially after I had specifically said no. True, it was an accident, but she caused it by doing something she knew she shouldn't have done. My parents came in to help us calm down. They were saying things like, "What's done is done. We'll fix it." My mother had already found a professional dry cleaner, bridal cleaner, who agreed to perform an emergency same-day cleaning treatment on the garment. We all instantly moved the dress over there. The cleaner was able to undertake a rapid surface treatment that evening, and part of the wine was removed, but the stains are still visible. The dress is made of fragile silk, and the red wine had already set in when we brought it to the pros. There are still tiny reddish markings over the front. The cleaner stated that they did their best for the time being, but that a more rigorous process may be required, and that there are no assurances. I took the outfit home with me after the first cleaning effort because I didn't want to leave it anyplace. This is the bit that got my blood boiling. My parents and Emily want me to split the cleaning bill with my sister. The cleaner charged a high rate for the urgent service and for handling a bridal gown. It came to many hundred. Emily is currently broke due to wedding expenses, so my parents paid the cost with their credit card. But they want me to pay them back for half of it because accidents happen, and Emily didn't do it on purpose. Their argument is that because the clothing belongs to me, I should contribute to its cleaning. They also kept underlining that Emily was only trying to make me feel special and did not mean any harm, and that I should have a heart because she is my younger sister. I flatly refused to pay that bill. I did not ask for any of this. I was at work, minding my own business, hoping to find my dress securely at home. Emily didn't have authorization to take it. If anything, she should be responsible for all of the consequences, not me. We had a tremendous quarrel right in the cleaner's parking lot. My father became enraged, accusing me of being insensitive to an honest error. I screamed at that point. I was indignant and upset. My father told me to stop being dramatic, and my mother tried to calm us down because we were generating a disturbance. Finally, my parents stated we'd discuss it later and that everyone needed to calm down. They continue to believe that I should contribute to the cost because I will eventually wish to clean the outfit for personal usage. That feels extremely unfair to me. It essentially rewards Emily's poor behavior. I drove home with my dress, what remained of its former splendor, and simply cried in my fiancé's arms. He is equally furious with my sister and dad, and he has advised that we take additional action, but I'm not sure what to do now. I'm quite angry and heartbroken. I have refused to reimburse my parents for the cleaning costs, and I am currently not interacting with my sister at all. I'll post an update if anything else happens, but I can't believe she did this to my clothing. Comment 1. This is completely absurd. Your sister trespassed and stole your dress. Whether it was an accident or not, this is essentially theft. You would be within your rights to report her to the police for what she did. At the very least, ensure that she and your parents no longer have access to your residence. Change your locks if necessary. Upper. I was thinking exactly the same thing in the heat of the moment. When it first happened, my fiancé asked me directly if we should call the police. In the end, I didn't go that way. It just felt too drastic to call the authorities in a family dispute, especially since I did receive the dress back, albeit ruined. But, believe me, I pondered it. As for access to my flat, you can guarantee I've reclaimed the spare key. After that, I drove straight to my folks' house and took my key back. I haven't decided whether to change the locks yet because I currently have the only copies, but I'll probably do so anyway for peace of mind. And I've relocated the dress to a safer spot. My fiancé's parents have a spare room and have promised to keep it secure for me, as I'm not taking any chances. Comment 2. Accidents happen is no excuse here. Your sister created this situation by taking something that was not hers. She owes you the entire cleaning and repair fees. Do not pay a single dime. To be honest, your parents' support for her and expectation that you pay anything is ridiculous. They are enabling her bad behavior. Upper, exactly. I flatly refused to pay for any of it. I told my parents and sister that I would neither praise nor fund what she did. She wrecked it, so she should bear the full cost of repairing it. My folks keep telling me that I'm being harsh since Emily is struggling financially, but it doesn't justify stealing from me and then sticking me with the tab when it backfires. I stand solid on this. It has been tense. My parents are still acting as if I lack sympathy, but I believe they are just coddling her since she is the baby of the family. Regardless, I am not paying. Comment 3. Is the dress totally ruined? Do you think the stains can be removed with extra cleaning? Or will you need to replace it? I'm so sorry this happened. Also, will you make your sister pay for the entire repair new dress? She definitely should. Upper. I am not sure if it is fully ruined. After the initial hurried cleaning, there are still noticeable stains. The cleaner suggested a more rigorous cleaning and potentially speaking with a professional wedding repair agency. I intend to call the custom dressmaker who produced it and seek their advice as well. If the stains do not come out, it may be necessary to reconstruct elements of the gown, such as replacing discolored fabric panels. That sounds really expensive, but I'm going to look into other solutions because I adore this clothing and want to save it. And yes, I fully expect my sister to pay for whatever it takes to repair or replace it. My fiancé agrees. He even mentioned that if she refuses, we may have to consider legal action. Something I sincerely hope can be avoided, but at this point I'll do whatever it takes to set things right. We have not yet reached that stage. I'm giving everyone the opportunity to cool down and do the right thing. But there's no way I'm just going to absorb the bill of this tragedy. Update 2. It's been a while, but I have new information. I took my dress to a highly recommended bridal tailor and cleaning specialist to see what else might be done. Unfortunately, the news is not good. The residual stains are so deeply embedded in the fabric and scattered over numerous layers that regular cleaning cannot remove them without destroying the material. The specialist and my original dressmaker both agreed that the only true repair is to physically replace the discolored parts of the gown with fresh material. Essentially, they'd have to deconstruct portions of the dress, the front skirt panels and an underlayer of drenched silk, and re-sew them with new fabric. It's a time-consuming restoration, and the materials, matching high-quality silk and re-embroidering some lace, are also costly. This repair is estimated to cost around 1 month's rent. For reference, my monthly rent is around $1,350, so we're in that range. I informed my relatives. My folks seemed genuinely alarmed by the exorbitant cost. And my sister, well, she broke into tears. She apologized again, saying she had no clue it would be so complex and expensive to correct. I stated unequivocally that this is what must be done to restore the dress to the condition it was in before she removed it, and as a result, I want her to reimburse the expense because she is responsible for the entire problem. Emily then offered me $300. She stated that $300 was her entire wedding dress budget, which she had placed up because she had originally planned to purchase an inexpensive gown off the shelf. She added that if she gave me $300, she'd have to wear something she already had, or purchase a white dress at a thrift store for her wedding. In her opinion, donating me her entire dress budget demonstrates that she is attempting to make amends with me in every way she can. However, $300 is insufficient to cover the cost of repairs. It would cover around 1/5 or 20% of the cost. I was literally speechless that she believed that would suffice. I told her that $300 would not address the problem. It would not restore my outfit. That money would not suddenly provide the additional silk and professional work required. She became enraged and stated that this is all she has and that she cannot create money out of thin air. She also stated something along the lines of, "You already have your nice dress and you have more money than me. Maybe you and your fiancé can cover the rest. I'm doing my best here." That upset my fiancé, who was with me during the conversation. He stated that it is not about who has more money, but about who is liable for the damage. He informed her straight up that we wouldn't be spending our wedding cash to remedy a mess she made. My parents rushed in and advised that I use the $300 for the back doll and simply hire a local dressmaker to stitch something together, or cover up the ruined section with a sash or flowers to avoid the whole cost of repair. That suggestion is, well, hurtful. I don't want to cover up my dream dress's stains with a random applique. I want it properly restored. My parents were clearly concerned about Emily's ability to pay the whole amount, and they were looking for any way to make it appear less horrible. They even suggested that the stain would not be that apparent and that I could just wear the dress as is, which made me quite unhappy because the whole point of this was to keep my once perfect dress for my wedding. The stains are really obvious. There is a dark wine-colored shadow on the ivory fabric in the front. There is no way to ignore that. At this time, my fiancé and I informed my family that we needed to devise a solid strategy for how this repair would be paid for, and it shouldn't fall on us. We offered a proper sit-down session with everyone, parents, Emily, and ourselves, to sort things out with cool heads, as emotions were running high. My sister was still crying. My mother was concerned about the cost, and my father was quiet and upset. We all agreed to meet in a few days at my parents' place to discuss financial responsibility and the next steps. To be honest, the entire situation has been tremendously stressful and has strained my relationship with my sister, and, to some extent, with my parents. My fiancé is outraged. I'm fatigued from crying and being angry. And Emily is acting as if her life is over because if she has to pay for my dress repairs, she will have to cancel her own wedding plans. I feel horrible that this price will be a great burden for her. I understand that money is tight for them, but I keep reminding myself that I did not cause the problem. She did. And I shouldn't be the one to give up my outfit or my finances to make things right. Let's see how the forthcoming family meeting goes. I'll update again later. Comment 1. Your sister's offer of merely $300 when she owes more than $1,300 is frankly insulting. Even if that's all she has, she can't just damage anything and then opt to pay a portion of the cost. If she doesn't have any money, she should work out how to get it, rather than expecting you to cover the rest. OP. I was stunned. She believed $300 would suffice. I understand she is hurting financially, but it doesn't mean she can avoid most of the expenses. $300 will not restore my clothing. She must find a method to cover the balance. A loan, a payment plan or something. Because I will not consume the entire amount. Comment 2. If your sister actually cannot afford it, your parents should step up. They enabled the entire scenario by siding with her from the start. Are they willing to donate any amount to the repair costs? They seem more concerned in persuading you to abandon it than holding her accountable. OP. So far my parents have not offered any money. They paid for the original cleaning and even tried to get me to pay half of it, but they have yet to refund the repair costs. Instead, they're simply attempting to persuade me to find a cheaper solution, or let it go. I asked them directly what happens if Emily is unable to pay, and they dodged the topic. It's frustrating. They encouraged me to share my garment, but now that it's damaged, they're not eager to help pay for the consequences. Comment 3. Normally, I would not recommend suing a family, but if she refuses to pay the full amount, small claims court may be your only option. She took and trashed a valuable, sentimental item. You've got evidence and receipts. If she refuses to pay the charges, legal action may serve as a wake-up call. OP. Believe me, we are thinking about it. My fiancé, in particular, believes that if she refuses to pay, we may be forced to take legal action. I am torn because, well, it's my sister. I never thought I'd have to consider suing my own sibling. But you're correct. I have receipts, emails from the tailor discussing the repair estimate, images of the damage, and so on. The fact is that she took the clothing without authorization. It's primarily property damage. We'll see how the forthcoming family meeting goes. I'm still looking for a commitment from her. Perhaps she could arrange a payment plan or something casual. If she truly refuses or is unable to pay, small claims court is an option. I hate that we've gotten to this stage, but I also need to defend myself here. Update 3. The family gathering didn't go well. In fact, it became a disaster. We all gathered at my parents' house 2 days ago. Me, my fiancé, my sister and her fiancé, and our parents. The goal was to get an agreement on how to manage the garment repair costs. My fiancé and I arrived with copies of the repair estimate and a recommended payment plan for Emily. For example, she could repay me in monthly installments over a year or 2. I was hopeful that we could resolve this without resorting to legal action. Initially, the conversation was tense yet respectful. I repeated that I would not abandon this problem and that the dress needed to be fully restored for my wedding. I understood that $1,300 is a large sum, and informed Emily that I was happy to accept a payment plan if she couldn't pay it all at once, as long as we had a signed agreement that she would settle the entire cost over time. Emily appeared apprehensive and talked briefly at first. My father encouraged her to answer, and that's when she broke down in tears, revealing a new complication. She is pregnant. We all were silent for a moment. Emily and her fiancé then revealed that they had only recently discovered she was 8 weeks pregnant. Emily clarified, "With a baby coming, I can't possibly pay anything right now. We have to save every spare penny for the baby." My mother quickly switched gears, exclaiming, "Oh my goodness, that's wonderful news," and fretting over Emily. My father groaned hard and said to me, You see, they'll have a baby to care for. We all need to be reasonable here. I congratulated Emily, but I also reminded her that her pregnancy does not change the fact that she owes me money for the damage. I said something like, "I'm happy for you, but I still expect you to take responsibility for my dress." That set her off. She burst into tears, accusing me of being callous for demanding money when she was already facing large childcare bills. She stated I had no idea how expensive infants are, and that she will need every penny for prenatal care and savings because she will be on unpaid maternity leave. I said that I would not ask for the money right away if she could not afford it. I'm all right with starting payments after the baby is delivered or making another arrangement, but I need her promise to pay the whole sum in writing. At that point, things deteriorated into yelling and crying. My mother began crying and asked me to let it go for the sake of the baby and our family. She claimed I was going to severely harm my connection with my sister over money, and that money comes and goes, but family lasts forever. My father told me I needed to be flexible now that things had changed, and he advised I postpone the repairs until things calmed down for Emily, essentially telling me to drop it for now. My fiancé lost his cool and stated that being pregnant is not a get-out-of-jail-free card. She still destroyed the dress. Pregnancy does not eliminate debt. Emily's fiancé, who had remained quiet, added, "We honestly have no way to pay right now. Maybe in a couple of years after the baby we could start paying in small amounts." Hearing it, I understood they had no plans to make things right anytime soon, if ever. I felt enraged and hurt. I replied to my sister, "I'm sorry you're stressed and I can't wait to be an aunt, but that doesn't erase what you owe. You can't just wreck my dress and then say you won't pay for it because you chose to have a baby." Emily sobbed because I chose clothing over her child's future. My mother reprimanded me for being harsh to a pregnant woman. At that point, my fiancé took my hand and said, "We should leave," since it was evident we were not welcome here. Before walking out, I informed them that because we couldn't make an arrangement, I would be taking this to small claims court. My father began to argue, but I broke him off and said, "I have to do this formally, since you're all refusing to resolve it another way." My sister cried even harder. My mother was saying, "Please don't do this," while my father simply shook his head at me. My fiancé and I departed while my parents were still shouting at me to rethink. It was dreadful, but I felt I had no other option. The next morning, I filed a small claims court claim against my sister for the full cost of the repairs. I informed my family that we will now tackle this through the legal system. It's unfortunate that it came to this, but I've tried everything else. I'll have to wait till our court date. I'll publish again once I know the outcome. Final update. The legal case is over. The judge ruled in my favor. My sister is legally compelled to refund the entire cost of the garment restoration. Because she couldn't pay everything at once, the court established a payment plan for her. She needs to repay me in monthly payments for the next year and a half. To my amazement, my parents secretly paid the first installment on her behalf. They wrote me a check for that amount, along with a note expressing their hope that this will resolve things for now. I assume they assisted with the initial payment to keep my sister from experiencing immediate financial hardship. I went ahead and had my clothing entirely fixed. It was pricey, but the bridal specialist did a fantastic job. My gown is still as stunning as it was when it was new. Having it back in excellent shape took a great weight off my shoulders. My fiancé and I can now concentrate on our approaching wedding without this issue looming over us. My family has agreed to give each other some breathing room. For the time being, I'm limiting my contact with my sister and parents to allow everyone to relax. My sister is about to give birth to her baby in a few months. Perhaps once the kid is delivered and some time has gone, we can gradually re-establish our relationship. But for the time being, maintaining communication is essential for everyone's peace of mind.